Peter the Great is known for pulling Russia out of the medieval times so dramatically that when he died in 1725, Russia was one of the leading European states. Peter knew that if Russia were to grow, he needed a strong army. Having inherited an almost non-existent army, Peter began from scratch. The young Tsar was certain Russia's future depended on a warm water port. In order to gain such a port for a landlocked country like Russia, Peter had to begin with his passion for ships and sea. To modernize his army, Peter found and hired European officers who trained his soldiers and European war skills. In addition to military expertise coming from the West, Peter also, upon his return, introduced an absolute monarch by force. Western practices, such as potatoes in the Russian food, Russia's first newspaper, and he also raised women's status, ordered nobles to give up their beards and traditional clothes, and further educated by opening a school of navigation and sciences. Thus Peter could now have an educated people to run his school's economy and his favorite of all, his military. To modernize his army, Peter brought over European officers from Europe and also added heavy taxes. Peter had no mercy for anyone who went against his new orders. To pay for his European programs, Peter started business policies like to promote exports. Peter also improved waterways and canals. He developed mining and textile manufacturing, and also he supported new trading companies. Peter absolutely wished for a warm water port, one that had no ice all year round. In the 1700s, Peter was in a long war with Sweden, who at the time was in charge of the Baltic region. With many battles and losses, Peter finally won territories along the Baltic Sea in 1721 from the Swedes. With his excellent military, Peter now had won the island he had dreamed of and now had his window to the west. Now Peter had added a Russian city in the Baltic coast which he helped plan and design later, called it St. Petersburg. When Peter died in 1725, he had furthered Russian territory, gained ports of the Baltic Sea, and had created an army of 200,000 men. Now Peter had positioned Russia in the affairs of Western Europe. Thank you.
Created using Powtoon.